Hey everyone! Welcome back to our English Learning Podcast. I'm Alex, and if you're here, it means you're ready to take your English speaking skills to the next level.
And I'm Emma. Today we're tackling a big problem that stops so many learners from sounding fluent, those awkward pauses while speaking. If you hesitate too much, struggle to find the right words, or feel nervous while speaking, this episode is for you.
Yes! And here's the deal. If you skip this episode, you might keep struggling with hesitation for months or even years. But if you stay with us till the end, you'll learn powerful, real-life techniques to help you speak smoothly without getting stuck.
So don't go anywhere, because by the end of this episode, you'll have practical strategies that can transform the way you speak English forever.
All right, before we dive into the solutions, let's talk about the real issue. Why do people hesitate when speaking English? If you've ever found yourself pausing too much, struggling to find words, or feeling stuck mid-sentence, you're not alone. But why does this happen?
That's a great question, Alex. There are a few major reasons why learners hesitate. The first one is translating in your head. Many English learners think in their native language first, then try to convert that thought into English. And guess what? That takes time. By the time you finally find the right words, the conversation has already moved on.
Exactly. And that brings us to the second reason, not having enough vocabulary. When you don't have the right words readily available in your mind, you pause to search for them. This hesitation can break the flow of your speech, making you sound unsure, even when you know what you want to say.
And let's not forget one of the biggest reasons, fear of making mistakes. So many learners hold back because they don't want to sound wrong or embarrass themselves. They overthink grammar, pronunciation, and sentence structure. And by the time they finally decide to speak, they've already lost confidence.
That's so true, Emma. But here's something important. Fluency isn't about speaking perfect English. It's about keeping the conversation moving. Even native speakers don't always use perfect grammar or the best vocabulary. What makes them fluent is that they keep talking, even when they make mistakes.
Exactly. So here's the good news. You don't have to be perfect to sound fluent. The key is to learn techniques that help you speak smoothly, think quickly, and keep going, even when you don't know the perfect word. And that's exactly what we're going to show you today.
All right, let's get into our first technique, using filler words. This is something native speakers do all the time, and it's one of the simplest ways to sound natural and keep your speech flowing.
Yes. Think about this. Native English speakers don't always speak in perfect, smooth sentences. They also pause to think, but instead of staying silent, they use filler words to keep the conversation moving.
Exactly. Fillers are those little words and phrases that give you an extra second to organize your thoughts without making it obvious that you're thinking. Some of the most common ones are, well, you know, I mean, let me think. So, anyway. For example, instead of freezing when you're unsure what to say, you can say, well, I guess we could try this. Or, I think that's a good idea. This keeps your speech confident and natural.
That's such a good point. And it's not just about avoiding awkward silence. It's also about sounding more like a native speaker. If you listen to real conversations, you'll notice that people don't talk in perfect sentences. They use fillers all the time.
Exactly. And the great thing is, these fillers don't change the meaning of your sentence. They just buy you time to think. So next time you feel stuck, don't panic. Just throw in a simple, well, or, and keep talking.
Yes. And here's a little challenge. Pay attention to how native speakers use filler words in movies, podcasts, or even YouTube videos. Then, try using them yourself in conversations. You'll see how much smoother your speech becomes.
All right, let's move on to the next powerful technique. Learning sentence patterns. One big mistake English learners make is trying to build every sentence from scratch. But fluent speakers, they don't do that. Instead, they use ready-made sentence structures that make speaking much easier and faster.
That's so true. Think about it. Native speakers reuse the same patterns again and again in different conversations. And once you learn these patterns, you don't have to pause and think about how to say something. You just plug in the words and keep talking.
Exactly. Let's look at some useful sentence patterns that can help you start speaking without hesitation. I think that's a great idea. In my opinion, this is the best way. I'm not sure, but maybe we should try it. The best thing about this course is that it's easy to follow. If you ask me, this is a smart solution. Now, instead of hesitating or overthinking, you already have a structure ready. You just need to fill in the details.
I love that. And the best part? These patterns work in almost any conversation. Whether you're expressing an opinion, making a suggestion, or explaining something, these structures help you speak naturally without pausing too much.
Exactly. So here's a little challenge. Pick one of these patterns and try using it in a conversation today. The more you practice, the more automatic these structures will become, and soon you'll be speaking fluently without even thinking. All right, here's something really important. Fluency is not about using big, complicated words. It's about speaking clearly and keeping the conversation flowing.
Exactly. A lot of English learners think that to sound smart, they need to use advanced vocabulary. But the truth is, native speakers use simple words most of the time. If you listen to conversations, you'll notice they don't say purchase. They say buy. They don't say utilize, they just say use.
That's such a good point. And here's the problem. When learners try to use big words they're not comfortable with, they hesitate, searching for the right word. But if you keep it simple, you stay confident and speak without pausing.
And what if you don't know the right word? Don't stop, just explain it in simple terms. For example, instead of screwdriver, say the tool to fix this. Instead of ceiling fan, say the thing on the ceiling that moves air. Instead of frustrated, say, I feel a little annoyed. See, you don't need fancy words, you just need to keep talking.
I love that. And remember, fluency is about flow, not perfection. If you can explain something in simple English, you're already on your way to sounding fluent.
So here's a challenge. Next time you forget a word, don't stop. Find another way to say it and keep the conversation going. All right, here's a big one. Stop translating. One of the biggest reasons learners hesitate while speaking English is because they're thinking in their native language first, then trying to translate into English. But translation takes time, and that's why you pause.
Exactly. The key to speaking fluently without hesitation is to train your brain to think in English directly. It might sound difficult at first, but with a few simple tricks, you can start doing it every day.
Yes. Here are 3 simple but powerful ways to start thinking in English. Label objects around you. Look at the things around you and name them in English. Instead of thinking mesa if you speak Spanish, or meja if you speak Indonesian, just think table. This helps your brain connect words directly to English. Narrate your actions. While doing everyday tasks, describe what you're doing in English. For example, while making coffee, say in your mind, I'm boiling water. Now I'm adding coffee powder. The coffee smells great. This builds automatic thinking in English. Imagine conversations. Before going into a situation, mentally prepare an English dialogue. For example, if you're about to order food, think, what will I say? What will the cashier ask me? How will I respond? This makes real conversations much easier.
That's such a great strategy. And here's the best part. The more you think in English, the faster you'll speak. If you train your brain to process English without translating, you'll naturally pause less and respond quicker.
All right, here's an instant fluency booster that works like magic. Set a timer and talk non-stop for 1 minute.
Yes, it's super simple but extremely effective. Pick any topic, your morning routine, your favorite movie, your weekend plans, and just start speaking in English for 1 full minute. No stopping, no translating, no worrying about mistakes. Just keep talking.
And if you get stuck, use a filler word or rephrase your sentence. For example, instead of pausing, say, "Well, what I mean is," or "Let me think." So basically, that way, you keep going without breaking the flow.
Exactly. And the more you practice this, the easier it becomes. Start with 1 minute, then increase to 2, 3, or even 5 minutes. Over time, you'll notice that speaking English feels more natural, and your hesitation disappears.
So here's your challenge. Set a 1-minute timer today and talk about any topic in English. It might feel awkward at first, but trust me, the results will surprise you.
All right, let's quickly recap. Today, we shared 5 powerful ways to stop hesitating while speaking English. Use filler words to avoid awkward pauses. Learn sentence patterns to speed up your speech. Keep it simple. Don't stress over big words. Think in English so you don't have to translate. Practice with a timer to build fluency under pressure.
Now it's your turn. Which tip will you try first? Let us know in the comments or share your experience with us.
And if you found this episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. Your support helps us create more content for English learners like you.
Keep practicing, keep speaking, and most importantly, have fun with English. We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.